Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And this show undoubtedly is going to piss off a lot of people. But before we even get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, my name is Charles Tabanzi, handle CTABANZ. And also follow Dreamers Pro on Instagram, same name, Dreamers Pro. And check out the Dreamers Pro podcast we have in the comment section. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. I can already see people gritting their teeth, like, I can't stand this mother. What is it? First of all, let me give you guys the breakdown of actually what happened today. Today, funny enough, I thought it was going to be one of those boring days when there wasn't much to talk about. And for the majority of the day, I didn't see much to talk about, to be quite honest with you. We were here kind of going back and forth, researching various things. And I said to myself, I'm like, man, we may just produce one show and call it a day. So I went out, ran a few errands, came back, checked the news again. And then I came across an article from fadeawayworld.net. And it had something to do with Michelle Beadle talking about LeBron. So I said, do I really want to talk about this? Because I feel like this is something that she said already in the past. And I thought that it was an old video. So I said, well, there's nothing else to do. So for, you know what, in giggles, let me just see what this video is about. So I click on it. And then what I noticed is that the video was actually published, 1 day ago. 1 day ago. And I was like, okay, this is a recent video. I said, okay, so let me see what it's about. So the gentleman that was interviewing her, let me just quickly get the name of the show so I give out the proper credit. This is some of the things that people complain about on the internet, not giving people their credit. So I got this channel from Awful Announcing, which also sounds like a website, Awful Announcing. But anyway, that's the name of the podcast, Awful Announcing Podcast, right? Yeah, that was the show. So I click on it to see what she was going to say. And to the credit of the host, he was very straightforward with his line of questioning. And he asked her, but in a very sarcastic way. So it turns out it looks like LeBron is the one that got you fired from ESPN. Now, before we play what she had to say, there was this story a number of years ago when Michelle Beadle used to be on ESPN. She used to be on Sports Nation. She was a huge Spurs fan. As a matter of fact, when Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs were having their fallout, she was one of the people that was vocally upset with the way Kawhi Leonard was doing things, right? She didn't appreciate that at all. So Michelle Beadle is someone that usually has strong opinions, but she was very good at her job. Anyway, apparently, after LeBron James made the decision back in 2011, she was amongst the crop of people that were pretty much making fun of him for that decision and the way it was handled. And according to her in the past, she said that essentially what happened was LeBron tried to get her removed from ESPN. And this is something that she publicly said. So in this particular soundbite, she's kind of going over what the host is asking her to kind of elaborate on what she meant by LeBron tried to get rid of her at ESPN. So what we want to do is want to quickly play what Michelle Beadle had to say here about her situation with LeBron, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Michelle Beadle here.
Has LeBron James contacted Eric Spitz in an attempt to get you removed from SiriusXM yet?
Not yet. Not that I know of. But, I hope they'll tell me if he does, because those are fun conversations.
Yeah. So, and for anybody who missed that, does not know, a couple years ago on your What Did I Miss podcast, you revealed that LeBron attempted to get you fired from ESPN, possibly because you joined a cast of millions in mocking the decision. Were you made aware of his attempt as it was happening, or was that something that you found out after?
No, I found out after, in like all the chaos that ensued sort of right after I left. All this other information started coming out. So I kind of knew I'd gotten wind of it right as I was leaving. And then more stuff came out and I was just like, what a crap show. Good Lord.
And I'm sure LeBron has since apologized to you.
Oh, he sent me so many flowers. How could I not forgive him?
What was it? Was it NBA Countdown that he wanted you removed from?
Yes, he wanted me replaced.
And then you were eventually replaced on Countdown by Rachel Nichols. So do you think that LeBron ended up having any influence over that decision, or
no? I mean, if he
by the
did,
time it happened, it was,
you know, if he did, it was short lived. But you know, she did that to herself. So it's sort of one of those things where when I was on the outside watching it all crumble, I couldn't help but kind of laugh because you know, you hear things, you know things, you're told things, and then you get to sort of stand away and watch the house burn. You're just like, holy cow! I didn't know how much of it was real and how much wasn't. And yeah, you know, he's a powerful dude. I mean, there's no getting around that. He is an empire and an entity upon himself, and he's in all the respect for building such a powerful entity on a name and doing it well. So yeah, people are going to listen. I don't think they replaced me immediately, and that was, I guess, somebody's way of kind of having my back, but it didn't feel like it.
So you heard what she had to say there. What do I think about this? Well, for one, for her to be saying it this publicly, it must mean that she really believes it to be the truth, because the last thing you want to do is slander someone. That's the first thing. The second thing, LeBron James himself has admitted that he knows a lot of people at ESPN and he has a lot of power. How do I know this? This took place during the 2020 lockdown, and there were various interviews being conducted all over the place. And I think LeBron James went on Richard Jefferson's podcast, and I think Richard Jefferson said something. He was like, I don't want to get in trouble with my bosses or something like that. And he was like, you're going to get in trouble with your bosses? No way. Like, not if I know you, like nothing like that's going to happen. And people were like, wait a minute. How the hell does LeBron have that much influence over the hiring decisions over at ESPN? But that was what he said with his own mouth. It wasn't what I heard. It wasn't from an article I read. That was what he said. The only reason I'm playing it because I don't know how long it's going to take for us to unearth that video, that clip. But if there's some people in the comment section after the show that want to doubt me, y'all know I always have the receipts and I always pull up the sources. We're not one of those places that say we heard it from the moon and we can't verify it. If I say I saw it, I read it, I'm most likely going to provide you the source. So if you're going to question that, be sure to do that. And oh, by the way, there's somebody in the comment section that owes me $1,000. He knows who he is. He was talking a lot of smack. I'm still looking for you, by the way. I'm still waiting for your message on Instagram. Anyway, so LeBron has said that. We also know that Skip has alluded to the fact that LeBron and Clutch Sports have a lot of influence in sports media. You see people like Nick Wright, who's represented by Clutch Sports. He's out there, LeBron guy. There were reports in the past. Again, this was on television where Joy Taylor essentially said that she heard that Shannon was getting paid money under the table to say nice things about LeBron James. And then Steven Jackson, who was on the show, said, I heard the same thing too. So there's always been these kind of reports, these rumors that Clutch Sports is kind of controlling a lot of these guys to kind of push LeBron narratives. Some people said that about Kendrick Perkins as well, that Kendrick Perkins is a Clutch guy. This seems to be the impression out there. So do I believe that something like this can happen? Absolutely. Another reason I believe it is because I've also heard Stephen A. Smith lament the fact that one of the things he can't stand about LeBron is that his incessant need to try to control the narrative. Now, Stephen A. Smith is someone that has him number 2 all time in his all-time rankings. But there have been many instances on ESPN when Stephen A. Smith himself has called out LeBron James for saying, what is this obsessive need to constantly control the narrative? In the case of Michelle Beadle, if she was straying away from the narrative or, saying things that weren't flattering about him that could possibly tarnish his image and reputation in any way, then they're going to try to stomp that out and snuff that out. Maybe that's what it is, because I don't see any other reason why, they would go after her. Right now, to me, do I think that that's something that's correct? No. Do I think it's something that happens not just in the NBA? Do I think LeBron James is the only guy that does that? No. I think very famous, successful people that have an image to uphold, they're going to do these things. You've heard various reports of Puff Daddy who I'm sure all of you know, who people have said he's had lawyers that would tell people not to say this, or artists were complaining about you have to sign non-disclosure forms, you can't say this, you can't say that. All of these things are done allegedly to protect the person's image. Now, some of us may look at it and say, wait a minute, this is a little bit petty. But in the person's mind, they're like, they can't have people out there saying negative things about them. Now, not every star is like that. To be totally frank with you, not every star. I give you guys an example of an athlete that's not like that. MJ. Now, Michael Jordan, I believe, has mastered the ability to tune people out, and it's a superpower, especially in today's world. MJ always has one jackass or another out there saying crazy things about him. Look at the Scottie Pippen thing. Right? Look at the Scottie Pippen thing. Look at some of the things that are being said about MJ in the media. MJ rarely comes out to defend himself or rarely sends out hitmen to ensure that these guys don't have jobs. He just lets them talk and he just ignores them, which is a superpower, to be quite honest with you. You have to have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not confidence. What's the word when you're like, when you believe, I can't find the word, but really you have to really be comfortable in your own skin to not be swayed or let the words of other people bother you, especially when those things aren't true. It's a superpower. So people like MJ found a way to ignore it. Kobe did to an extent, but whenever someone put a microphone in front of Kobe Bryant, he would respond to it. Like when they would put out these ridiculous rankings, Kobe would say, hey, these guys are a bunch of idiots anyway. Would Kobe go out of his way to talk about it? No, but if you ask him about it, he would. So to me, that's her story. I'm not here to say, oh, she's lying, because if I say that, then one person may have to ask, how do you know that she's lying? But she's telling her truth, and we decided, hey, why not cover it? Now, there's some people that are going to take exception to us covering this particular story. And to that I say, all right, what would be the situation in which we didn't cover it? Who's going to cover it? Is something like this going to be covered by big media? You know they won't. So are you telling me that you want no one to have an opinion on these type of things? There should be no balance in sports coverage, or it should just be the way you want it to be, and all of us should be up here twerking it up for you guys, but it just can't be that way. So these are my thoughts. What I want to know from you guys, what do you think about what she had to say? Do you think there's any truth to it? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next show. Peace.